Top 10 Creepiest Things Found in Attics. We love October, aka creepy season. We spruce up in startling outfits for Halloween, tap into the terrifying accounts of evil presences and phantoms, and we will appreciate a portion of Disney's most prominent hits, specifically, Hocus Pocus, and Halloween Town. But what happens when all the frightfulness we save for 1 month winds up hiding in our attics? No, this isn't an allegory for suppressing injury. I really mean finding strange things in your storage room. What's more, there have been some beautiful odd things, unpleasant, even. Here are the top 10 creepiest things found in attics. 10. A secret apartment. Owning a house is exciting, yet how might you respond in the event that you found out that your home had its own mysteries? A Reddit client by the username, Catching Windows, was stunned to find a condo in his attic. The disclosure sent the landowner down an investigative bunny opening. Before the house was changed over into a 2-story building, it was a store, and the proprietors lived higher up. After the store shut down, a congregation purchased the unit and worked around it. In pictures shared by the stunned inhabitant, the house looked littered, loaded up with insects. The man could hardly imagine how he had been living in a similar house for more than 2 years. Different disclosures in the storage room were a latrine, a matured restroom sink, covered up glass windows, and garbage to keep going for quite a long time, as another Reddit client commented. 9. Craftsmanship with a message. What is the most disturbing drawing you have at any point seen? A realtor couldn't contain herself when she saw it while showing a house to forthcoming clients. While she was in the upper room, the specialist found a progression of pastel drawings by kids. One reading said, "Did I alarm you?" She was naturally gone crazy and shared her revelation on TikTok. Of course, the specialist's web-based media supporters rushed to examine the circumstance, with some dismissing it as kid-like conduct. All in all, a trick. All things considered, others felt that the drawings were forceful and a sign that the youngster who lived there was upset. 8. Secret bones. As far as frightening revelations go, this one may chill you to the bones, no play on words intended, trust me. In Virginia, cops got a bizarre call. At the point when they showed up at the location of the crime, they found a youngster's body in the attic. Vacant lofts can fall into some unacceptable hands, and this one definitely did. The storage room was utilized for every one of some unacceptable purposes. According to Richmond police, they found the body of a 2-year-old concealed in obscurity. An autopsy found that the young lady, Ariel Lisa Simmons, had passed on of dehydration. Following investigations, police captured the little youngster's stepmom. The court accused her of first-degree murder, youngster disregard, and crime murder. In the wake of reaching a decision, the lady was condemned to 20 years in jail for her job in the kid's unexpected passing. 7. The head of Le Bon Roi. Kings and queens of England, Henry IV. Just a king's head is fit to wear a crown. However, what happens when a ruler loses his head, in a real sense? King Henry VI managed France in 1589. One of his most eminent accomplishments was ending the conflict among Catholic and Protestant residents. By imperial declaration, Henry IV introduced an approach of strict resilience, bringing harmony and earning the title of Le Bon Return on Initial Capital Investment, or the Great King. But, in 1610, Henry VI was assassinated due to his beliefs. When the ruler fell, and the French Revolution assumed control over, the remains of rulers were obliterated. In any case, as destiny would have it, Henry VI's head endure. In 1919, a photographic artist bought the regal's head from a closeout, and in 1955, Jacques Bellanger, a duty authority, turned into the new proprietor. In 2010, a similar regal head surfaced again after it was found protected in an attic. With the guide of PCs and legal sciences, Philippe Charlier, an anthropologist and clinical specialist, demonstrated that the head had a place with Henry VI. In a brilliant touch of occasions, the great king endured every one of these years just to be found hiding in a storage room. Nonetheless, the credibility of the revelation was addressed by hereditary researchers who questioned that the head had a place with Henry VI. 6. There's a snake in my attic. African ball python. Assuming you're apprehensive about snakes, this is your most exceedingly terrible bad dream. At the point when an Idaho family moved into their new house, they were stunned when an insulation group found a 3-foot-long African ball python. All in all, what's so frightening about the snake? In Idaho, and surprisingly the bigger United States, pythons are amazingly uncommon. Individuals import exotics into the country through uncommon rites. The beneficial thing was that in view of the loft's dry warmth, the snake was dead and very much protected for around 2 years. With the destructive snake not, at this point, a danger to the family, they inquired whether the past proprietor was a snake charmer. Surprisingly, nobody knew how a python might have wound up in the house. 5. Adolf Hitler's musical tastes. Hitler's music assortment. Adolf Hitler is effectively perhaps the most famous characters in history. After Hitler's Nazi realm fell, fighters claimed his own belongings as trinkets. As of late, a lady from Moscow found Hitler's own music assortment concealed in her dad's attic. Anyone would be unnerved to meet Hitler, and for Alexandra Besemenskaja, stumbling onto Hitler's records was a sudden experience. Alexandra's stun aside, her disclosure uncovered the Führer's affectations, as it turned out to be certain that he covertly tuned in to Russian and Jewish composers. Among the records were Russian writers like Alexander Borodin, Sergei Rachmaninoff, Peter Tchaikovsky, and Jewish author Richard Wagner. At the point when you think about Hitler's hazardous manner of speaking and activities in World War II, it's terrifying to try and tune into his records. 4. A Grandma's Mummy. Germany. Mummy of the storage room meanders to Berlin. A 10-year-old kid from Germany played in his grandparents' storage room when he found a bunch of dubious-looking boxes. At the point when the kid inquired about the cases, neither his dad nor grandmother understood what they contained. In a shocking turn, the biggest box contained a genuine mummy. The mummy, painstakingly pressed in a wooden case, was put inside a stone coffin, total with hieroglyphic embellishments. The family later found that the thing had a place with their granddad, who had made a trip to North Africa when relics from antiquated Egypt were in demand. Curious to find if the mummy was genuine, the young man's dad took the curious item to Berlin to show master archaeologists. In the event that motion pictures are anything to pass by, the family should keep the mummy inside the coffin to stay away from an incredible fiasco. 3. A freeloader. Do you have a flatmate that never pays the lease? You are in good company. In Jiangsu Province, China, a man found that somebody was living in his storage room, lease-free. PSSH, lazy. The condo proprietor initially became dubious when he saw things like money disappearing from his home. The police looked through his 3-story condo and found a vagrant had been living in the unfinished plumbing space. The unwanted guest had made himself at home and separated from stealing cash from the condo, likewise grabbed food in the kitchen. Further investigations uncovered that the vagrant additionally visited a neighbor's home when they were away, taking benefit of covered-up attics. No one can tell what, or who, is hiding within your own home. 2. Here comes mama with the baby carriage. What ends up babying carriages after the children grow up? Ideally, they simply get stowed away. Possibly you sell them. Or then again you can store dead things in it, I assume. In probably the creepiest disclosure ever, a group of investigators coincidentally found an assortment of vintage child carriages for certain appalling inhabitants. Every pram had an all-around protected little animal cadaver wrapped up impeccably and put within the compartment. The creepy revelation at a 200-year-old farmhouse in Ossining, New York, was shocking since each stroller had an alternate little animal. They found an aggregate of 10 animals, including canines, felines, raccoons, and squirrels. The cautious planning and detail proposed that the inventive or wiped-out mind that summoned the thought planned the scene intentionally. Vintage houses are known to hold onto some unusual things, however this revelation takes it an unheard of level. 1. The one who stayed. Breakups can be extreme, and for sorrowful sweethearts, healing takes seemingly forever. In some cases, the most ideal approach to mend is to simply remain away. Or on the other hand, live in your ex's upper room? This was the situation for a lady from Pittsburgh. The single mother of 5 found her ex of 12 years living in her attic. A few weeks before the revelation, the lady saw things going astray in her home, yet she was unable to explain the changes. On the most abnormal days, she would find a cover in the storm cellar or a latrine seat left up and even hear some surprising commotions around the house. The mother realized something wasn't right, however she couldn't simply place it. Then, one Saturday morning, she heard a clamor coming from her room. At the point when she went to look, she found her ex standing there. After a short fight, during which the man attempted to get her, the lady ran outside to find support. To her stun, the vagrant had been living in the house for more than about 14 days after a stint in jail.